Today I get to sit with Miss Cassie Alexander, and I'm so excited about this. It's the greatest thing about this podcast for me is that I get to do kind of what I want. I meet and connect with and see people all over the place that are extraordinary. And when I see that, my tail is now wagging in a new way because I'm excited to showcase to the world that person. As you know, every podcast starts with a word. And this word is actually in the sense, it's in the context of your business name, but it's the word hustle. Back when I was a boy, played sports, they would have the most valuable player award. I never won that. Ever.
Right.
Never even close. But they also had the most inspirational, or in one trophy, they called it the Mr. Hustle Award.
That's awesome.
And my dad said, you know what? Even if you're not talented, you can win that one. You can work harder. Mm-hmm. You can be the first one here and the last one to leave. You can outwork people. Well, little did I know that was such a secret ingredient of life, and that is my word for you.
Thank you.
And by that, I want you to say the name of your company, and then I want you to tell me what life looks like today. We're going to start with the present, then we're going to meander back. We're going to kind of have a lot of fun with this, but tell me about the name of your company and what life looks like today, Cassie.
Okay, so my cleaning company is called That Mother Hustler.
That Mother Hustler.
Yes, and that's what I do every single day. I'm a mother and I hustle.
Yeah.
And every day it's literally taking care of my kids, the routine of taking care of them, strict structure, non-negotiables. I get up, do the same thing every day, but better. 1% better every day is what I strive for, if not more. And
your eye contact just went to one of your three kids
who's
sitting off camera, but they're here for, what did she say?
Me.
Mortal support?
Mortal support.
Mortal support. I like that. Every mortal needs support.
Yep,
right?
she's my mortal support.
I love it.
I don't know what I'd do without my kids.
So this combination of full-time game on mother and full-time game on
business
entrepreneur,
owner.
business owner, you know, there's a lot of people that would say you got to kind of choose one or the other. But
I have no
in
choice.
a sense, you have no choice, and you're doing both flat out full-time. Give me like a Tuesday. Just pick a day of the week. Tuesday.
Yep.
Walk me through like when you get up, what you do,
Yeah.
where your windows are. How do you time block this thing?
So I'm a lot of the times on Kiko's schedule. Kiko is my 3-year-old. He's autistic, so he's special needs. So if I get 2 hours of sleep or an hour and a half or 4, sometimes it's tops 5. It doesn't matter. I'm still up early. I'm taking him to his learning center, his daycare every morning, and I just go. If I don't have bookings, I'm at the gym that morning no matter what. But lately I've been fully booked, so I go straight to pick up my workers and straight to the bookings. And if they're in King County, I have to time out, the drive time. I have to time out these bookings back to back to back in the amount of time that he's in daycare, which gives me about a 6-hour window with drive time. So I get these bookings done and then straight to drop them off and straight to pick him up and home and to be a mom. And then when I'm home, I do the estimates, and I'm on my phone all night long talking to clients. And sometimes I cut it off, like, okay, family time, cooking time, family time, Kiko time. I don't do much movie time, TV time. I don't do hangout time. I don't do any of that. I don't do friend time. Not very often at all. I know that's good to have balance, but I'm pretty strict with all of that. Yeah.
I have this opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but that we live in a soft world.
Oh, yeah.
A world that says, oh my gosh, I need, I hear this all the time, I need 8 or 9 hours of sleep. I need a night or two a week to just chill and this and that. And I go, you know, need, I'm not sure it's a need. Sure, who wouldn't like that?
Yeah.
But responsibilities and realities trump luxury.
They come first. Yeah. I don't like to sit in comfort. Like even when we took our vacation to Suncadia, that was wonderful and it was really nice and it gave me a little taste of what could be if I keep working hard. But the thing with me is I don't like to get in my own head. I don't like to say things like I really need a day off. I really need time off. I don't do that. I don't like to even speak it out loud. It's just, there's no question. You just keep going. Doesn't matter. I'll check my sleep watch and it'll say 2 hours of sleep. And I don't like looking at it because I'm like, it doesn't matter. Keep going. And I don't burn out. I don't know how I do it, but I think it's just all in my head and staying mind strong. That's really important to me is mind strength.
Well, here's the most perfect segue, and we'll come back to a day in the life of, we're going to jump around a little bit, but mind strength. Mind strength is about belief systems.
Yes.
It's about how you see the world. These things are true. Take me back to your childhood. Take me back to the beliefs that were installed in your head, good or bad. Tell me about that installation of beliefs and what your childhood looked like. Well,
I kind of did childhood alone. I didn't really have a parental figure raising me. I did have a good imagination and creativity, and I think that stuck with me. I didn't want to lose that throughout life.
Where were your parents?
So my dad committed suicide when I was 9. And then my mom we're not very close at all. She's very neglectful. She was neglectful and abusive, chose men over me and hopped around a lot. So that was my childhood in context. So I kind of grew up pretty quickly.
Brothers and sisters?
No.
So you were left alone to fend for yourself.
Yeah.
But you said your imagination is a mind thing, your imagination. Tell me about that.
I remember being mind strong very young with my mom and her abuse and her addictions. Also, one thing she said to me when I was a teenager, I had aspirations and goals. I really wanted to travel to other countries and help children, and maybe like a Red Cross situation, that I wanted to do something to help other people. And she slapped me and said, give up your dreams, work like a dog until the day you die. And I remember that affecting me so much. I had 3 jobs in high school. I was paying her bills while I was in high school. And I kept that mentality up until my 30s. I was thinking just work. And I had to reshape my whole belief system when I broke free from that. I learned about growth mindset and fixed mindset and really dove in deep to that. I was introduced to, not in person, but the online persona of Tom Bilyeu. He's from Tacoma, Washington. He's a self-made, and he has his own podcast, Impact Theory. I went to Impact University online, and I completely, flipped my mindset. And that was about when I was 32 years old, and I have not stopped since. I just continuously want the next best version of me and growth. And
what instinct did you have that led you to a self-admitted rewiring necessity?
I knew I was different than the rest. I was sick of fitting. I didn't want to fit in with anyone. I knew I didn't fit in with the average. I don't like mundane. I don't like average. I don't like right now, I love the struggle. I didn't like the actual struggle where you could be better, but you're just kind of fitting in and doing what everyone else does. I worked at B-Dubs as a waitress, and I'd barely make any tips. And I'm like, I know that I'm more than this. And no offense to anyone that does that, right? If it works for them, it works for them. But I knew I was meant for more. I knew I was meant for greater. I can do great things. I want to I know everybody wants to change the world, right? Everyone wants to make an impact, but
I'm not sure everyone does.
not everybody. Well, I mean, the way that I say it is I really want to make an impact with my children and start there. You know, that's where it really starts, is the people around you.
Right.
And that's where I knew I wanted to do something more than just have an average job and work for someone else. And I just couldn't do it anymore. I was kind of sick of it, sick of the struggle.
You know, I know I've probably quoted this 100 times in my life at least, but Jim Rohn, I think one of the greatest thinkers that has ever been, something very close to the effect that all significant change has a precursor of disgust. And yet there has to be a level of self-awareness to even be disgusted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta have some sense of, what am I thinking right now? What am I feeling right now, to even know what disgust feels like? But assuming there's self-awareness, and you look at your situation and you go, I'm better than this, and you just draw a line, and then you go seeking. Isn't that the way it works?
Yep.
It's like, I don't even know where I'm going, but I'm not going here. I'm looking now. I'm looking for something. And you start seeking maybe people or examples that are thinking differently.
Absolutely.
And to me, that's a good thing. When, you know, matter of fact, I really believe, Cassie, I'm on a little roll here, go with me, but I think that we are meant to seek every day. Like that idea that there is more. There's more horsepower. There's more possibility here. There's more life here. Let's go find it. How do I unlock this? And so you start asking a lot of questions. And you start seeking people who are also seeking.
Yep. That's absolutely what I did. Put myself in the crowds of people that were, I knew once I took impact theory that there were people around me like that were thinkers and doers and go-getters, and I was in the wrong crowd. I didn't want to be around that crowd anymore. So I started going to events, got into real estate investing events, even though I didn't know anything, and I was terrified to walk into those places, and I had every excuse to leave. Put myself right in the middle, and I got over that anxiety and just jumped right in and started to meet people and build a network of other thinkers, doers, and go-getters. And that's what really helped catapult the whole change. And
one such person I credit for us meeting is a tremendous, friend, student, power player, TA at Power Players, revolutionary. I think that's Jesse Lee is who introduced us, and you can't hang around Jesse and not feel the status quo be challenged.
I love a challenge, and he has challenged me. Big time, big time, and I love it. He's sent me to some pretty gnarly cleans, and that has built my resilience. And I'm ready to go into any clean with war paint now. Like, bring it, just because I've been thrown in, and I go
after it.
Yeah.
Well, the term, and I've heard it used a few times, but self-made, I don't think that's possible. And those who seek, they learn from any and everything that can move them forward. Some of the classes, you mentioned one already, or seminars, books, people. Give me a few of the influences. You mentioned Jesse. Talk to me about some of the influences that have been a part of this revolution inside of you, this rewiring of things.
I've caught myself saying, I'm doing it all alone. I'm doing it all alone. I really haven't done it all alone. Might seem like that to outsiders, but really that's so true, that I've had so many people support me in this network of real estate investors or friends, they became friends to me that were my silent support system. And they really propelled me to keep going. You got this. And at their status, you wouldn't think that they'd give me the time of day, but they did. They really invested in me and supported me. And, you know, whether it be a good review or sending me to more jobs or word of mouth. Beth Johnson is one of them. I love her to death. I've been cleaning her offices for a year now, and she's a friend of mine. I also have one that has helped me with my business. I cannot thank him enough. His name's James Marzalik. We have lunches so often. People don't know, you know, our relationship, but he has helped me. I'll call him with any challenge, and he'll help me with anything in my business. He's pretty successful himself.
Nice.
But I've got a great group of people behind me. You know, when I say I don't have family, I don't have parents, it's like they're my family. They've been so amazing. And they see something in me that I didn't see in the beginning. I didn't see these things, and they'll say it, and it just keeps me going. You know?
I'll tell you what I've seen, and I'll tell you why people want to get behind you. And I would say, I'm speaking for maybe myself, but I know I would speak for a lot of people in sort of my generation. An attitude of entitlement is, I can't even tell you how it makes me
It's a
want to
disease.
howl like a wolf. It drives me crazy.
Yep.
Like, for anyone to say somehow I deserve this, wow, I have such a hard time. Well, you are the opposite of that. The 180-degree opposite of that. You're handling it all. You're raising 3 kids, 1 special needs. You're learning and growing how to own and operate your own business. You're the head cleaner, the head bookkeeper, marketer,
All of it.
schedule person. You're doing it all.
Thank you.
And there's not a sense at all that that I deserve something more than what I create. And to me, that's such a breath of air in this day and age. And I know it is for so many people, which is why
I take a lot of pride in that.
immediately we want to get in the game and say, wow, you know, here's somebody who cleans this hangar after 300 people are in.
I was going to ask if you wanted it today.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I have everything with me.
Wow, yeah, and it probably needs it, but it surely needs it after like a day of the hangar, and you know, but to me, this is a big topic. That when you take ownership of your life and are doing everything in the world you can do for yourself, others want to be a part of that story. They want to get on board. They want to help.
Yeah.
Versus the opposite is true. That when people are always whining and walking around with their hand out saying, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? I really can't this. I really can't that. Believe me, that's the way to shut the faucet off. I have no sympathy for somebody that isn't going to give everything they've got themselves. I mean, everything they've got themselves. And you don't ask for anything, but people want to be a part of a story that is not entitled, that is making it happen. And to me, that dynamic, if people could grab that and watch you and go, oh, do like this, it's why so many have come around you, Cassie, and surrounded you, is that your energy is not entitled. It's a get it done, no complaining, almost like you feel among the most blessed to have your life and do what you're doing. And I don't know. I think that the point I'm making is that this applies to so many things. When you're enthusiastic and taking ownership for your life, others want to be involved. If you're needy and entitled and whiny, nobody wants to be involved. And you did the hard work to dive into a different mindset of life. It would be so easy for you of someone with no parents, on your own from a young age, to rightfully, in a sense, feel the victim. Somehow you figured out that wasn't going to serve you.
No.
And you went
Throw it
the
away.
opposite way.
Yeah.
And I think, wow. But I'm still coming back to that crossroads, that point of where did that change occur, and how, and because where'd you get that internal strength or motivation to go, I'm changing?
Yeah. So there was a pivotal moment. It was, I think my daughter was there with me. She's telling me to meditate a little.
Right. Deep breaths, right? Okay.
Yeah. I get anxious and stuff, but you know, a lot of us do. So there was a pivotal moment with the last trauma, the last event that really spun our lives for a whirl. Everything flipped in the matter of moments for me and all my children. I remember thinking, what am I going to do with this? Now it's all on me. And I signed up for a Tony Robbins event. And I did Unleash the Power Within, 2021, March. And that's where everything changed. I fully immersed myself. I locked myself in my office. I told the kids, take care of yourselves. It was really that serious. There's a process called the Dickens process. Have you heard of that? I went through that, and I was throwing up in my wastebasket in the office because I remember how powerful it was when you're fully immersed. And he had us write down our old identity, tear it up, throw it away. I don't even have that anymore. I wrote it down. It's gone. New identity, wrote this down.
New identity. There it is. Yep.
Everything that I wrote down this day, I became that year. I fully immersed in all of this, and I became every single thing. So I'm ready for a new identity again. So I'm actually going to do UPW again next year because I'm ready to level up again, because this is all. Yeah. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. It was a mind shift, and took what happened to us and made it happen for us, and turn it around, turn pain into passion and power, you know, all of that good stuff.
Say that slowly one more time, because I heard it, but I want to make sure everybody hears it.
I turned pain into power, and turned that pain into passion.
Turned what happened to us into...
For us, to serve us.
Right.
Yeah. All that anger, all that hurt, all that pain, all that emotion, you can make use of it. Turn it around. And it's all up to you in your head. And you don't want to suppress anything. When you go through something horrible in life, I imagine my life, I could be bitter forever. What kind of life is that? That's not a life to live. I could be angry forever. No, why? My kids are going to suffer. I'm going to suffer. You know, and another thing I learned is suffering is a choice after so long. I think that's where I get my mental resilience. If anything comes up these days now, I knock it out really quick mentally. It's you know, people can cry for weeks, months, years, their whole life over something that happened. What kind of life is that? That's miserable. And that's your choice. It's your choice to live every day and say, this happened to me. Well, you're going to let it keep happening every day the rest of your life? You're going to keep reliving that? Or are you going to face it head on? Are you going to deal with the traumas? Are you going to feel everything? Or to heal, you have to feel to heal too. You can't suppress it. You suppress it, it's going to be there forever. You got to feel to heal. You got to move forward. And I think I get really addicted to that. If someone can stub their toe and that ruins their whole day, I kind of giggle now. I'm like, what? You know,
move on.
Some things happen to everybody. I think everybody's problem is thinking that we don't need problems or we shouldn't have problems. Everybody has problems. How fast can you get over it and go from focusing on the problem to the solution and move forward?
You know, there is a sport, a martial arts sport, judo. Judo focuses on redirecting momentum. It's you don't have to provide the energy. You just have to know how to smoothly redirect the energy that is coming at you.
Yeah.
And I think of adversity that way. That adversity can feel like a wave of energy coming at you that is daunting. And yet what you're talking about is taking that energy and redirecting it mentally, redirecting the perspective on it, that the energy source then propels you forward. You don't have to provide the energy to go forward. You just have to mentally direct it and choose it.
Yep.
And that idea is incredible.
Powerful.
Yeah,
it's really
incredible.
powerful.
Yeah, it is. And to master that, just like watching literally, I'll never forget, I was in the lobby of this hotel room checking in. I couldn't even tell you the city. I could guess, but I think it was Chicago. But I remember being in the lobby of this airport in this carpeted waiting area, and there was this fit but rather small individual. I would say this guy was maybe 160 or 70 pounds, and he was demonstrating to people just watching how he could be in control of any situation with judo. And it was like the group he was with, he was obviously the instructor. So while they were waiting for a flight, he was teaching. And so he gathered this crowd around him watching this. And here comes this guy at him that had to be 280 pounds. And how he just would maneuver him with the energy provided by the other.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it was just like, it was just art.
What
it was
a concept.
art.
Yeah.
He was never looked rushed.
Yeah.
He never looked like he was exerting any energy at all. He just kind of did it effortlessly and kind of twisted this guy into knots. And I thought, wow, as I was watching this, I thought, this is just
buff pretzels.
like adversity, that it's an art form as to how to take that energy and mentally choose to have it become your advocate.
Yeah.
That this is the energy source is provided. And you've done that. And it shows.
Thank you.
I think that this is the word was hustle for the day, but I think the word could have easily been, change.
Oh yeah.
It's what differentiates us from a piece of furniture.
That's the only constant in life is change.
Right.
So you either accept it or you wallow in changes, and nothing goes as planned always. And I think that's the beautiful thing about life. People get divorced or deaths happen, all these traumatic events, and to be resilient through them and stay strong. I think that's what I want to show my kids the most is I could go through all these things and still wake up and smile the next day no matter what, and still love them. And Mike.
Yeah, these are a constant adjustment. That's absolutely fantastic. Would you comment on this? Let me just put it that way. The idea that adversity has the ability to build character. I've thought a lot about that. I don't really. What do you think about that statement? Is that a true statement?
Absolutely. I believe my resilience is my superpower. No matter what happens, I can keep going. I think it's a beautiful thing to go through ugly things. I think that's the beauty in life. It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's how you get up through that storm and you walk through it head on. I almost imagine myself, I wrote on here Wonder Woman, Superwoman, Super Mom. And I imagine myself, whatever obstacles come my way, those are opportunities. Just go right through them and learn from them. Everything is a lesson. You can have that mentality, I never lose, I only win or learn. Like I've messed up many times, many times, more than I can count. And I take that all as lessons. How am I never going to let this happen again? Because I'm in control. When you're in control of your own destiny too. But yeah.
This idea that results redefines possibility. I'm kind of big on that. That as you declare, as you write up, this is what this is going to be like. You set your sights on possibility. You implement, and then you become that. That's that Ruskin quote, right? That your vision is the promise of what shall at last unveil itself. Well, you've become this now. Now, some people would say, oh, wow, well, there you are. You've arrived. But already you said,
nope,
it's
what's next?
time for a new one.
Yeah, I'm ready for what's next.
And isn't this the picture of how life should be? Of upward and outward, and upward and outward. And
not mundane.
That you keep redefining the possibility with every step of the results you've already got.
I get excited about it because I'm like, what can I be in a year from now? I get really excited. I'm like really addicted to growth, self-improvement, the next level, so much to where I'm starting to look at every day now, because I look at myself a year ago. A year ago, I wasn't in this place. Last June, I think I told you this, I made $150 that entire month of June. I don't know how I made it. I don't know how I survived, but I had to put Kiko first with his daycare situation. It was a bad situation, pulled him out and DoorDashed in my Tahoe. So, and then a year from that, I 100x'd my income. So I'm not all about money. It's about what did I have to do internally, the inner work, the mental work, the strength to go through everything that I went through, the fear of losing everything. I think that's a big thing. I have nobody to fall back on. When I have that mentality, of course I could call people, hey, can you help me? I don't want to ever think that. I actually really love that I can't call anyone for help. I love that because it makes me figure it the fuck out. And I do every time. And I take serious pride in that no matter what happens. And I don't want to speak from an egotistical standpoint. I'm extremely humbled because I lay in bed at night and I still cry because I'm just so proud of how far I've come. But when you have that mentality, nobody's here to save you. I think that is very important in life. I don't like comfort. I think comfort kills. Like I said before, I still, people might call it naive or stupid, but I still wear tank tops in 30-degree weather and I get to work because I do not like wearing hoodies out the door to go to work because it feels like I'm still in bed. And then the heat, I don't like the heat blasting the heat because I got to get out and I got to put in the work. I'm jumping on the Tahoe. I'm pulling my ladders down. I'm pulling all the products out and I'm grind mode. There's no, I don't even know. Everyone says, go on TikTok and create content. I need a Jorge. I don't have time for that. And, be serious about your time. I'm not scrolling. I might be active on social media, but I'm not scrolling. There's no way. I don't like it. I mean, sometimes.
Well, no, I hear though what you're saying. It's game on, and it's up to you.
I can kind of ramble. I get excited about this.
I think the theme though here is that you've taken ownership. This is up to you.
Completely.
To get it done, and it's. I think it's an epidemic of, like I say, entitlement and of people saying, well, this isn't up to me. I'm looking for somebody or something to support me.
Excuses kill you.
Right. I'm looking for a government to support me or
I
a
can't
grant
be around
or a handout
like
or
that.
this or that. And the minute you realize that the success of your life is completely and 100% up to you.
It is.
Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lonely place, but it's an empowering place.
I prefer the solitude over being surrounded by what doesn't serve us. And when I say us, me and my kids, I can't even be around anyone that speaks anything about someone owes them this or someone owes them that. And I mean, I keep to myself quite a bit now, and I really prefer it this way. I like to go against the crowd, against the...
But you find people though that believe what you believe, and they come alongside, and it's that energy is positive for sure. In this focused grind mode, and it's you're on task and you're building and you're growing. Do you have a place in your mind for what I would call dream space, where you think on, I'm going to keep this going because I'm dreaming of these things?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, give me a few of those things, if you would.
Well, I don't know. I'll tell you this. You have an airplane. Well, my my why has to be bigger than me. That's a big rule, right? If your why is yourself, you're always going to talk yourself out of it. Well, I'll be fine. My why is bigger than me. It's my children. I want us to be able to travel wherever we want, whenever we want. And it sounds so vacation-y. I don't even know if I would do that then, but I just want to have ultimate freedom. I want to be okay. I want us to see the world. I want to take them and experience new places, new cultures, new things, you know. That was my biggest reason. And it's not all about the money. It never is. It's just the freedom.
Right.
The freedom in having a life that you choose, not that you're stuck, you know. I felt stuck for so long, and I broke free of those chains. Right. You're only as stuck as you want to be.
Right.
So, but that's my
And this would
goal.
be, I'm gonna assume that this adventure of traveling with the kids would be an adventure yourself, right?
Oh yeah.
To go to a certain place with them, it'd be all new to you too.
Yes.
And you would experience it together.
Yes.
And yet you would have worked hard
to
make this opportunity available.
Yep.
And that's when we appreciate it even more.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think another piece I'd like to comment on is having gratitude daily. Stacking gratitude. I don't know if you've practiced that. That is really addicting as well. And first thing in the morning, a lot of people will check their phones right away. Social media, you get in that zombie mode immediately. You get in that, you know, I can't stand that. And I'm victim of it. You know, it's so addicting. But instead of that, practice stacking gratitude. I don't know. She sees all the notes I take at home. And in my phone, I have them on my fridge. If my fridge is like yours, I write on my fridge every day with a dry erase marker. And I ran out of room on my fridge. I write on the counter with my dry erase marker. And I'll start stacking my gratitude. I think that's a really powerful process as well. Because technically, or I'm not really good with this, but you cannot have anger in your mind or your body at the same time as you have gratitude. So you can't have the negative emotions. And you also can't be moody when you're shaking your booty. You can't. It's true. Try it.
I don't have a booty.
Teach your kid.
That's why I'm never moody.
Well, you can believe that you do, and then it all starts there. And then watch the booty grow.
Right. Good to know. If they see me around here shaking my booty, I'll tell them, so I don't get moody.
I taught the neighborhood kids that when we lived over at the old cul-de-sac. I taught my neighborhood kids that, and they loved it. I'd pull up, and they'd go, "Cassie, you can't be moody when you're shaking your booty." And they literally, it was so great. They're so happy. I taught them that.
I think that's great. Well, gratitude, huge. But really, you boil it down, it's like you're choosing what to think on. You know, we're a product of, I'm trying to think of where I first heard this. I guess I want to give credit. It's not an original thought, but we're a product of the thoughts we think, the company we keep, the books we read, something along that line. But the thoughts we think, we choose those.
Yes.
We choose those. And to me, that ownership, it's an ownership thing. You know, I've gotten myself in a little bit of trouble sometimes being too direct with people. But, you know, I remember saying once that, you know, if you're wealthy, you did that. Right? If you're broke, you did that.
It's true.
Happy?
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah. Accountability 101.
If you're not, you did that too. And then I think of the Harry Atlas quote, PhD, psychologist, very, very smart guy. And I've memorized it. So I'm going to tell you exactly what it says. Whether we believe it or not.
I love that one.
He says, whether we believe it or not, you alone are responsible for 100% of everything that happens in your life. Even and then he goes on to say, but the good news is that if you choose to accept this, you now have the power to change what happens next. Said a different way, if you don't accept this, you're powerless. You're a victim. It's just, you're waiting for the next thing that happens to you. And I've been in many a discussion on, but I'm not responsible for this. I'm not responsible for that. I didn't do this. But you have to allow yourself to say, yes, I am. It's my life. I was here.
Choices.
I surrounded myself here. I put myself here.
Yeah.
And then though, the good news is game on.
Yeah.
Because now I'm going to choose that this won't happen
Direction
again.
I'm going.
I'm going to go in this direction, choose these people, think on these things, and all of a sudden life starts rolling in our favor. And I believe too that providence gets off the bench and gets in the game. Things start happening that never would have
That's how
happened
I feel,
if you didn't have this attitude of choice. That's the woo-woo part. You know, that word intention is the woo-woo word. It's not only are we clear on where we're going, but somehow it starts looking for us.
Yeah.
That's
It's
a crazy
crazy.
thing. I don't even know how to understand that one, but
the law of
I do believe it. The
attraction.
law of
Yeah.
attraction. Something happens.
It's really wild.
That every great thinker has worked that one over and went, wow, you know.
Yeah.
But I do believe that it all starts with ownership and choice.
Yeah.
And this is, you can only control yourself. But if you take that seriously, that's enough.
Can I share something?
Please.
You know, the power of belief and the belief systems, that's where it all should start. When anyone thinks, where do I start? Where do I start? Start there. Put in the inner work. It's said that once you believe something, your brain is wired to act on that. So you believe you're a loser. I'm going to bet money that you're going to be a loser for a while. You believe that you're going to do great things. You tell yourself these things daily. It's really powerful. It's more powerful than people think. It doesn't matter what anyone says to me anymore. It matters what I think of myself and what I believe in myself to be true. When you believe these things to be true, you are your brain is wired to act on them. So the story you tell yourself is true. And so you better make it a good one. Every single day you tell yourself something great. And
well, and you're sitting here in large part because the evidence is in the life, right? In other words, you look at your life in the last year and a half, 2 years, how it's changed. Your income has changed. Your time management has changed. The relationships that you have with your kids have changed, right? Your health has changed. Your intelligence, your reading, your studying. You see, it's when you change, another Jim Rohn quote,
I love Jim Rohn.
Everything changes. When you change yourself, the whole world around you changes. And to me, that's the proof in the pudding. Things are changing for the better. I'm on the right track. As you said, I'm kind of addicted to this now because this is working.
Yeah, I mean, like, what else can I do?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Not what else can happen to me. What else can I do?
And where could this possibly go?
Opportunities are endless. I mean, there's opportunity in everything, even the struggles, even the setbacks, everything.
Yeah.
Just plow right through them.
Just go.
Yeah.
You got a real estate license. What was the influence to do that?
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I should say not a license. You have a serious interest in real estate.
Yeah.
Is this due to Jesse's influence a little bit?
Actually, she used to drive around with me years ago. I started in 2018. Ugly house hunting. So I was in Deal Machine. The person that I dated back then got me into wholesaling of real estate, and I met a local wholesaler and flipper, and he took on my ex, and I'm like, no, me, not him, me. And so we got close and we partnered up, and that was just, I love it. I have an eye for ugly vacant properties, and it's exciting to me, that whole the whole process, the flipping.
And you're in the fix and clean business, right?
Yeah, well, that's how I started my cleaning business, was because I was so deep into wholesaling real estate, and building a team of deal finders. When I needed to make money quicker, you know, because that's hit or miss. And I started my cleaning company, and I already had the network of people. And then I'm like, wow, this might work. They all need cleans. So
What are some of your real estate related aspirations?
real estate, I want to have passive income really bad. I want to do big things, and I want to do them quicker than, your last event. What if? The whole what if you just did it. And I'm like, God, I can do bigger things. I got to stop thinking so small. Like we are our own biggest critics. I keep thinking the daily grind. And I'm like, I really want to get my first multifamily property and house hack. And it's just, a matter of market changing the first FHA loan and 30% down. I want to do that. I think that's
or learn skills to where you don't have to do that.
Okay.
Right? Right?
I just, I got to do something.
A lot of ways to buy real estate.
I don't want to labor forever.
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot of great influences that you've met that take real estate very seriously.
Yes,
of course, we were introduced by one that takes real estate very seriously. Jesse and Patrick are amazing friends and students, and I think that when you have a family that part of that vision space is providing a great place for them, right? And then building a portfolio of real estate that helps support their future, your future.
That's what the ultimate goal, assets and.
Yeah,
not liabilities.
That's awesome.
I don't want to buy my first house and live in it. That's gross.
Right.
Who does that?
You want it done when you move in? No, there's a lot of ways to go with this, but that's awesome. Okay, now I want you to go all the way back, and I want you to think about the contrast of the influences and beliefs that were installed in your head when you're a kid, and I want you to contrast them with the influences and beliefs that you're working to install in your kids' heads.
Oh, I thought about that this morning getting ready. I was thinking, what a great head start that they have. That sounds very tooting my own horn, but we talk every day. My teen and my 10-year-old, we talk all the time about the belief systems, and they'll come to me for advice, and I'll talk them through it. And my teen, she'll come to me with her dreams and aspirations and goals, and she's working at McDonald's right now. And that was my first job when I was 16, 20 years ago. So she's working the exact same job I started at 20 years ago right now. But she's got a head start with the way she thinks, and I want to do this, I want to do that. And I get excited about it because I can't wait to see what they turn out like, I didn't have that when I was little. I didn't have that at all. Goals and dreams were nothing. Work. Work. That's it. Shut up, work. Pay your bills, The
world of entrepreneurship, I think, is obviously now what you're up to your ears in, running a business, owning a business, and having that influence, giving that option available to your kids, to where they get a taste of doing it for themselves versus working even for an employer. Right. At least that's one of my hopeful influences with the kids, is that they see that there's
both
options.
Sides. Yeah.
Right. There's
that's
different
with
ways
my teen,
they
for
can
sure.
go. Yeah.
She'll say something about money, and I don't have enough for that. And I thought, well, you could have came and worked with me. But then, she's tasting it, and she's, and I love it for her. Kind of throw her off into the wolf's lion's den and go ahead.
I love that the discussion
go see that paycheck.
is real, though. It's the discussion is a part of your daily lives.
Yeah.
And that influence, that you can talk about these things and talk about business and making money and what you want to do and how much things cost. And
because that's like it's a taboo subject for a lot of people, but I don't think it should be with my kids. I want them to know the choices that I've made. I could either be like this, and no shame on anybody that has a 9-to-5. I used to work an office job, 9 to 5, and I was miserable. Everyone else in that office loved it. They were comfortable. They watched Netflix at work. I couldn't stand it, and just to have them see that I made those choices and this is who I am and I want more out of life than that. And I feel like they both have it in them too, you know, but go test the waters, see what that's like.
Just that encouragement.
Yeah.
Go test the waters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that discussion alone, that freedom to go explore, that's, you know, the one characteristic that defines the entrepreneur more than any other characteristic, I mean, studies have been done, is an entrepreneur is curious. Oh, like what's on the other side of this door?
That's what I wrote down for your question about childhood. I didn't lose my curiosity. I'm always asking questions. What else? How? And there's never a stupid question, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I want to ask all the right questions and all the wrong ones too. I want to know what this person did and that is in a place that I want to be in. What mess ups did you have? You know, I want to know everything. I think it's good to ask all these questions. Yeah.
Well, and that's that growth piece.
Yeah.
You know, curiosity and growth go together. Like, tell me more about this, more about that. I want to know. I want to learn.
Yeah. You dived into the rabbit hole that'll serve you.
Yeah, absolutely, Cassie. So do you see yourself in the Northwest? Is the Northwest home for you, or in your dream space? Do you see yourself living in other places?
Oh, I want to just bounce around everywhere. I want to go everywhere.
Okay.
I want to touch every continent.
Right.
But right now, you know,
yeah,
with the kids,
right,
raising them first. But I want that freedom. I don't have. I think another great thing that I love about myself is I'm never attached to a person, place, or thing. Those can all come and go. Everything comes and goes. You attach yourself to that. It's the cause for, you know, losing them and devastation and all that. I don't like doing that. I like to just feel at home with myself. Yeah.
Comfortable with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the one thing you take everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
It's sticking with you until the end.
There you are, right?
Yeah, you better like yourself. So
that's an interesting perspective. I've been to many cities working one-on-one with somebody, and there have been a few cities where I've had to, at the end of the day, say, okay, you gotta sell me here. Why do you live here? And they go, I said,
that's where I've always lived.
Have you ever seen the, and that's what they say.
Yeah.
That's where I've always lived. Okay.
That's what I've always done.
Right. Well, this is where I was raised. Okay.
Okay, and?
All right. But can you give me another reason?
Yeah.
Because
it's home.
I don't see your passion for this place.
Yeah.
And my own opinion doesn't really matter, but I'm looking at you. I'm looking at how you connect with this place, and it seems very distant, you're somewhat disgusted with it. Why do you live here?
Yeah.
And it's so interesting that familiarity is like a magnet. It's, even if it's terrible.
Yeah.
We choose
or if it's not working out.
We're somehow, I don't say choose necessarily, but we stay there because it's
comfortable. And that will kill dreams and goals and aspirations. Right. And that's one thing I don't like. I get disgusted a lot with things because I used to say these things. This is what I've always done. Well, that's not really working out. So do something different.
You hear a different voice now.
I don't.
Right.
I just don't like the story that people tell themselves is true.
Well, so the way I at least attempt to describe these voices is the you,
the anti-you,
and the anti-you.
Yeah.
Where does the anti-you most attack you?
You know, I think it's a battle between past habits, and because there was a switchover, you know, like I used to go out. I used to go to bars. I used to hang out with friends and be social and watch TV and watch. That made me sick, really sick, you know, and that old, you know, oh, hey, it's okay. No, it's not okay. That David Goggins calls it the mommy voice. He's a big influence in my life as well. His book, Can't Hurt Me, was huge to me. I read it over 6 times, I think like 8 now on Audible. If I just need something to keep me going, he's the one that's stop being a bitch. Just go, you know. And that's what he says. And I'll say that to myself. And I even wrote an accountability mirror with Post-its. I still have them in my kitchen, you know, all these things to take accountability for. I get off track so quickly.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
no, but
I can go forever.
Anti-you tries to pull
it tries to pull you back to
into
the old
old habits,
Like
the
it's
old
okay.
ways.
Take
It's
a break.
fine.
You know, have some pizza.
You've
Watch
worked
TV.
so hard.
No, and you know, little wins are great, but I'll light a candle. You know, like, but you don't want to sit in comfort too long. Like, it's good to pat yourself on the back. But like that mentality of it's the weekend now. There are a lot of people who are like this. Oh, it's the weekend now. I got to party. It's what I do every day. And you know, my age group, I'm like, no, you don't. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and then you're going to wake up Monday and do the same fucking thing. Like, that's not a life. Maybe for you, but stay over there, please. Like, right. I can't, you know, and I used to do that too, that mentality. Oh, just take a break. No, why? I'm not tired. Yeah. But my watch says you're no, it doesn't. I say I'm tired. I'm fine. You know, I'll sleep later. Sleep faster.
But it's a battle. It's a mental battle.
Yeah, it is every single day.
Whose voice is saying this?
Yeah.
Is this my advocate? Or is this my adversary?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's my adversary.
That's
trying to pull me back.
You gotta flick it out real quick.
And you go to battle. Yeah.
It's every day too. And the people that, like I said, when I don't fuck with a lot of people. I mean that, like, you can't really be around a lot of people. Like, that's why I go to these events, you know. That's my little dose of being around like-minded people. Not to talk bad about anyone or anything, but the things that people say around you will affect your mindset too. And even, for instance, Black Friday. Man, I was like, no, I'm not a consumer. I don't shop. I want people to shop from me. You know, I want people to buy from me. Even just talking to two people that are important in my life that aren't quite on the same mindset level, I'm going to go shopping. It made me want to shop. And I was like, I don't shop. What am I doing? I bought myself a new knife set. And I was like, I didn't need that.
A knife set.
It was so nice. It's so nice. It's gold. And oh man, I cut my vegetables real well. And it was a steak knife and I don't eat meat. But I mean, just talking to them threw me into that consumer mindset and the comfortable mindset and the spending. And that's not me. And I was like, I slapped myself after, but then the knife set looks real good on my counter. It's still a battle.
Cassie, the thing that's going through my head right now is that extraordinary people, they play their own game. They play their own game. I happened to be on I-5 near an outlet mall, completely didn't think it out on the Black Friday we talked about. And all of a sudden, I-5 was this wall of cars. And I'm going,
what's going on?
And it was a day off. Yeah. Why is there so much traffic here? And I couldn't figure it out. And then
chaos.
And then the exits going to this outlet mall. And the parking lot, as I drove by this mall on the freeway, was just crawling with people. And it occurred to me that this entire 10-mile log jam of traffic coming in each way are people going to this outlet mall to save.
The sales are all year.
And I just thought, in a million years,
you wouldn't be in the middle of that parking lot.
I was disappointed at myself that I didn't think that this possibility even exists. I thought, hey, Friday, nobody's working today. There won't be traffic. I'll just zip to where I'm going.
That's what makes us so special and so different. I love it. You know?
Extraordinary people, they play their own game. Yeah. They say, I don't do that.
No.
No, that makes no sense to me. I've done the math.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm going to save $50 on that and spend 4 hours of my time? Really? Are you kidding me?
You're the one that taught me I will not be on hold and die. If I'm on hold, I won't do it now. I'm so serious about, I'm not going to do that. It's not worth my time.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to go wait in line. I walked with a firefighter. My neighbor's a firefighter, and he's tall. He's like, when I'm on grind mode, I walk really fast, and we gotta go. Come on, move. And I walked him to the gas station. We walked back together, and we were talking, and he was shocked. He said, wow, you walk fast. And I was in a tank top, and it was raining, and I don't care. And he was like, what is wrong with you? And, you know, I won't say, oh, it's cold outside. I'll see people bundled up, and I'm just... There's another saying by David Goggins. I'm not crazy. When you're looking at me like this, and you go, God, you're crazy, or you're stupid, or what's wrong with you? remember, I'm not crazy. I'm just not you. I'm just not you. Yeah, a little bit crazy. My daughter's laughing. She knows. A little bit psycho, but it serves me.
Take ownership. Take ownership of your life. Know thyself. Be thyself. These themes are awesome. Well, I have just loved this. I have completely loved this, and I would love the world to know about how to get a hold of you. Not just the fact that you've got an amazing cleaning company, but to get a hold of you for your energy, for the example of choosing a different route in life, of taking ownership of life. These messages, Cassie, are why I wanted you here. They're why I wanted the world, my world, whatever that means, my world, to see you and understand you. You're young. You've got 3 kids. You are taking ownership of all these responsibilities, and you're making it happen. You're working on yourself. You're working on your business. I can't be more inspired.
I think that's so wild to me.
That is a challenge to me and anyone else who watches this. Like, are you working on yourself as hard as you're working on you? Well, not many people do. I'm not sure I do, but I love that you are, and it's why everybody wants to be a part of that program. How do people connect with you? How do they get a hold of you?
I don't like anyone calling me. No,
right? I know,
I really don't.
Is there a website or some social media or anything like that?
I mean, honestly, right now, and I should be better at it because that's the ultimate goal. Is everything you just said.
Right.
That's what the life fulfillment is: inspiring others and creating change in others. But right now it's just Facebook. Cassie Alexander. They can find me on yours.
Yes.
Friends list of 5,000 plus. But that and Instagram.
Okay.
That's really it.
Well, and that platform works well to direct message you and
it does. Facebook
and
is best
it from there. And I really appreciate that. As you know, these wrap up with the consider and as I thought about the questions I was going to, to walk through with you and the things that I knew we'd be talking about, the question that challenged me is simply how much could you actually do? Consider how much could you actually do if you just did it?
Yeah.
If you just did it.
Don't question anything, just go for it.
If you just said, I'm doing this, you're a doer. Yeah. You're a hustler. You make it happen. You don't make any excuses. Who was it that said you either make money or make excuses, but you can't make both? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That idea, and you go for it.
Yeah.
What could we get done today if we just did it? Quit thinking about it, make a decision, make a choice, and do it.
Yeah, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Wow. Yeah. There's the crossroads right there, right? So I know that you've delivered that challenge today, and we are all considering that. So thank you for being here.
I'm very honored
Sophia,
to be
although
here.
she's off camera, thank you for your mortal support today.
She was confused as to how you could be inspired with me, and I said, "You'll see."
Oh, man.
Watch Mom.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
And to all of you watching, again, thank you so much for another edition of the Pinio Podcast. This is Greg Pinio. God bless.